kind of bored.
We could play with these dolls.
Yeah.
Hey Barbie, that was an amazing date. You want to go back to my place? Check out the hot tub?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Oh, sweet. Let's go.
I guess Barbie's already in her swimsuit, so I don't really have to do anything. Your doll have a swimsuit? Like, I guess. Oh, absolutely not. No. You look awful. Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how long it takes me to get ready, especially for a date and to get into a hot tub? You look like a hot dog that was rolled down the floor of a barber shop. You look disgusting. No, absolutely not. You can't just roll out of bed, barely shower, and put on dollar store deodorant and expect to get with this. No. You gotta manscape, just like in real life. By the way, where did you even buy a doll that has pubes like that?
It was on clearance.
I can see why.
Guys, Manscaped's Perfect Package 4.0 has everything you need to make you look your best. The Lawnmower 4.0 and Weed Whacker 2.0 make taking care of unwanted hair easier than ever. Get 20% off with free shipping off your order now at manscaped.com/AngryJoe Show, plus 2 free gifts.
Hey, guess what movie we just got back from? That's right, we did the Barbie Heimer double feature, and we just got back from Barbie. We're dressed the part. Alex, looking dapper, looking like a what'd you say earlier?
Oh, shitty frat dude asshole. Skylar, my dad owns a dealership.
Hey man, we can drive any car we want. Okay, so surprisingly, there was a lot of people dressed up in pink, and everybody's kind of having a good time. So, yes, we did it. We went and saw Barbie, and I guess, I mean, obviously, this film is not really marketed towards us. You know, it's not especially written for straight men. Imagine that. That it tackles the experiences of, wait for it, little girls and women growing up in the real world. And, but surprisingly, there's musical numbers, there's a lot of jokes, and surprisingly, Barbie was really funny at times. I was laughing out loud. I was really surprised. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of cringe. There are unbearable moments, and then there's fun moments. And it does get overly preachy, in my opinion, and it could have handled its message much better. Like, I was having so much fun in the first 30 minutes, other than being annoyed by, the happiness of, hello Barbie. They say the word Barbie like, I'm going to rip, if you say it one more time, I'm going to rip my eyes out. But the standout star of this film for me was Ken. I was just having so much fun with Ryan Gosling's performance as Ken. He is just funny as hell. And many are going to call this film man-hating. I see. I mean, there's there's no doubt some of that here with reason. It's kind of annoying to see, but and sometimes it comes off a little weird, a little hypocritical. But it's serving an argument. And, some people out there rage about something like that. They can't stand listening to another point of view, even if you don't agree with it. But I was surprised at, the satire and some of the areas that they went to. I didn't expect a lot of subversive kind of content there. So, but ultimately, it's like, man, I wanted to like it more than I did. I had a lot of laugh out loud moments, and I want to rewatch those. But would I rewatch the Barbie film? I don't think so. I think, once was enough for me. And that overly preachiness, and there are moments where it just screeches to a halt to give a huge ranty speech. I guess what I'm trying to say is even when I agree with the message, when you're so heavy-handed with it, it kind of does a disservice, in my opinion. But obviously, that's for my audience. Maybe they don't really care about our target market. They're talking to women and they're talking to, a certain different target market. But that's kind of what I thought of Barbie. What did you think, Joe?
Watching the trailer, I did not want to watch this. It looked dumb, but I guess it was dumb fun because I actually did enjoy it. I didn't love it. But I had a good time with it. I had a couple drinks. You need a couple drinks with this because you said it was pretty cringy. It gets annoying, just the repetition. I guess that's just the mundane. She gets bored of that stuff. But like you said, the message was just like hammered too much. I was like, look, I get what you're going for. Be a little bit more subtle with it.
Yeah.
Dial it back. And there's gonna be a whole bunch of like videos of this.
Yeah.
It's gonna
there's certain people that are gonna go fucking crazy, and don't be those people. I mean, I can see, you're not agreeing with the message, but it just makes you look embarrassing.
Yeah. Margot did a great job. I love her performance as Barbie. Ken, obviously, fucking amazing. He had some great lines. He just had some standout lines.
Hilarious.
So I did enjoy it, but for this one I would kind of wait.
There's some problems. The acting's great. It's kind of let down by, I guess maybe the middle. I really enjoyed the beginning, and then I guess it kind of picks it back up towards the end. I was just let down a little. The script lets him down.
Yeah, I also felt like Will Ferrell's character is just like pointless.
Yes, why is Will Ferrell play Will Ferrell in every fucking movie? And I don't like the fact that Mattel in this, they do Mattel in this, but it kind of breaks the rules. The Mattel is too cartoony.
Yeah.
For the real world. They have a distinction between Barbie world and the real world, but Mattel breaks that, and that whole subplot goes nowhere. It was there to develop Barbie, and the biggest sin of the film, I think, is that Barbie never really comes into her own as a nice, badass character. It's like everybody else, because they wanted to make sure, hey, there's this Barbie and that Barbie, there's smart Barbie and President Barbie and fat Barbie and fucking, this Barbie. Yeah, it's every kind of Barbie. And so I guess they have to have, it's a collective effort, right? But it takes away from the title character Barbie, which I think, becomes an issue. Alex, you seem extremely excited to go watch the film.
Yeah, this movie, it was funny.
What'd you think?
It was funny enough. It's not for me. And I agree with the message too. Like this is a movie where the message is important, but I felt like that they showcased the message versus showcasing the movie. And it was disappointing. So there's interesting stuff that's happening here. There's interesting potential. And then it just falls flat for a long period of time. I had no beers, and so I wasn't, and so I was like, I'm gonna run all this movie and see what it's like. But it's just, it was what I thought it was going to be. It was a movie that was absolutely not written for me, and it's a message that I agree with. I think that people, it is important for young girls to realize that there can be things that they're going to need to overcome, and that there are a lot of double standards within society. I get it. The problem is they repeated what I just said like 40 fucking times. And then a preaching message is not a replacement for conflict resolution, okay? So when you set up something and there's potential for things to happen, and they're like, well, we're gonna solve our script writing problems with, and then they give a speech, and then they give the soapbox, and they get a soapbox, and they get a soapbox. And so it's
too many.
I get that there were some funny parts of the movie, and there was some interesting things. The movie had style, like absolutely incredible amounts of style. Ryan Gosling killed it, Margot Robbie was really good, but it's just, I don't think this movie is great. This movie wasn't, I don't hate it. I'm not, but I don't think that anyone who has anywhere near close to my taste should go spend money for this movie because it's not for you.
Yeah, me neither. If you're female, I think you'd probably enjoy it a little bit better. But if you are having an aversion to overly preachy movies, overly that talk about the patriarchy, that talk about feminism, that talk about modern society, that's gonna grate on your nerves a little bit. And I don't mind movies that do it, but when you're that heavy-handed where the film comes to a screeching halt and I feel like I'm in improvisational theater watching, some, actress go on a big rant. It feels like, that I don't want to compare it to that. There are moments where, somebody will go on a rant and, the message, you can agree with the message, but it kind of does it a disservice and it kind of falls apart. And that's kind of what happens here.
It loses a lot in his repetition. I mean, there was actually one or two really great speeches, and if they had if they had kept it to those and put them, 3/4 of the way through the movie and at the very end to really nail the point down, I think you would have been better served. And again, this is someone who agrees with the message. It's just like they did not handle it as well as like some of our other movies and some other films that actually handle the same thing. So, and then on top of that, you're preaching to the fucking choir. It's like I'm in your choir, right? You're telling me the message, and all you're doing is you made a movie that is going. I mean, right now there's 100 YouTube videos being uploaded.
I'll pick on the one guy that has that. He does swords and stuff. Oh man. To actually go to this film and get that upset over it.
There was a good opportunity for them to actually explain to people that may not agree with them, like some of the situations that they're dealing with. Yeah. And I think they went so ham-fisted that you're really just preaching to the people you already got.
You're right. You're not convincing these other people. You're only pissing them off more and giving them fuel for their hate fire. Yeah. Now, here's it's a damn shame because it was coming really close. I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I was like, cool, we get this Barbie and I'm on with the satire, I'm on with all that shit. But as soon as we ran into that patriarchy and then everything kind of turned into patriarchy. It's a battle of the sexes movie. That's a good way of putting it. A battle of the sexes. And guess which side wins. Okay? It's a Barbie film, so don't think that the men are gonna win, right?
Justice for men.
Justice for men, right?
No, Alan.
Oh, Alan. No, I agree. Justice for Alan. But honestly, I hope there's no sequel. I don't want to see a Barbie 2 or anything like that. I think it works as a self-contained film. I'm so confused by the ending. They wanted to give Barbie something special to do at the end, and I was like, that was fucking stupid. Okay, cool. It just runs out of steam, in my opinion. And then they do one thing where I think that's too much spoilers territory. But it's something having to do with Ken and Barbie's relationship, which I think will rub some couples the wrong way. Because some people are like, yeah, Ken and Barbie, man. And they're going to leave this theater like, oh, so that's canon now? I'm not sure about that. I wasn't sure about it either. I'm like, well, why? Okay, I get it. Anyways, we'll talk about that in spoilers. But there are musical numbers, which, I don't really like musical numbers, but there was so much energy during that first one, and it is in the Barbie world, so I allowed it, and I actually had a little bit of fun with it. I thought the musical numbers, and when the men are dancing, and, it's because Ken versus Ken. All that Ken versus Ken stuff was hilarious to me. Well choreographed. Sets are beautiful. Music's good. Everything's running. And initially I hated, there's another musical number towards the end, Ken's, but it kind of won me over in the end. And so I'm down with that. And it's just a shame because I want to go and rewatch it, but all that preachy and overly heavily-handed stuff, I would just gloss over. And so I think the plot kind of lets it down, and the script lets it down. But there are some cool moments and interesting moments, but it is uneven, to say the least. So let's go into final verdicts, and we'll jump into spoilers after.
I'm gonna go with a 6, above average. I did like it. It was fun, entertaining to watch, but at the same time, like you said, like. Once
entertaining.
I thought it was gonna be like a fish out of water. It's like, okay, you gotta solve a problem with you and Ken and do this stuff, but as soon as
go into the real world.
Yeah, as soon as the social commentary showed up, I'm like, okay, I get it. But
how are you gonna handle it?
Of that, I was like,
an hour of it.
You can't just do that. Like,
it's everything, Joe.
It is. It was just too much. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to.
It makes it less fun.
Yeah, because like. Again, if they would just kept it to the beginning and done something subtle, it would have been great. I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect this. I had a blast. But
you see that point where it could have gone either way, and it makes me sad because there's a Barbie film there that I would rewatch and that I would recommend everybody to go out and see, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah. The cast is amazing, like Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, perfect. She is Barbie. He is Ken. Love it.
Yeah, it was perfect, but other than that, like, no, 6.
Yeah, I like it a little less. I think there's some really great spots. I actually like the musical numbers. I think a lot of the stuff in the beginning, the Barbie Land stuff, and I really started to like the fish out of water. It's just, I think that if you do a message in a movie, it needs to punctuate the movie. It cannot be the entirety of the movie. And once we leave Barbie Land, and then we get cartoon segments, I mean, like, truly fucking
Mattel
dumb
stuff?
cartoon segments.
Yeah.
That are just like, it sucks you out, and you're like, wait a minute, so like, what, is this not the real world? Like, what kind of idiocy is going on here? And then they're like, here's the message, and then it's unrelenting. And again, I feel bad because it's like I agree with you. Can you shut the fuck up and get back to the movie, please? They're like, no, get it. There's a patriarchy. It's like, I get it. I understand. Can we get back to the movie? And they're like, no, this is the movie now. I am the movie now. And so it's all over the place. And then towards the end, there's some more funny stuff. Some ridiculous things happen, but it just kind of lost me towards the middle. So I think that this. It's got some high points, and there's some. Even if you fucking hate women and you're one of those keyboard people,
incels,
you're gonna laugh at some of the stuff that happens.
Or they make money from incels.
Oh, you pretend to be the internet. There's some funny stuff that even those people are going to enjoy.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna laugh.
I'm gonna give it 5 points. I think it's got some strong things, but I think it kind of lost sight. I think that they went during the whole process, maybe just the editing process or the script writing process. They're like, look, they forgot that you had to have the movie first, and then you get to deliver the message. And then the message just...
There was nobody there to rein in that writer, right? And, you know, they let him go on that rant, and then everybody was kind of like, I have to clap or I'll look like a sexist.
You gotta keep clapping, keep clapping.
You gotta clap for that person.
How much longer do we need to do this?
Yeah. So that's also, I can see a 5 out of 10 easily. I want to give it a 5 out of 10. However, I do think Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling... The acting,
the extra point.
Give it that extra oomph. And the fact that so many jokes actually worked. I didn't expect any of the jokes to work. Like at the beginning of the film, I was like, make me laugh, make me laugh. Nothing, it's not making me laugh. You're actually annoying me now. Hi Barbie, but then Ken came and then it started to get funny. So, so 6 out of 10 from me. And then we can go into specifically what kind of really annoyed us. Also thought, what's the actress that plays Weird Barbie?
McKinnon.
Yeah.
McKinnon. Yeah, I thought her character was cool, interesting angle, because, you know, there's certain girls that beat the fuck out of their Barbies.
I just kept thinking Cynthia from Rugrats.
Yes.
Cynthia's. The Cynthias of the world are represented here, and that Barbie's represented, and I like that. So I think we're all in agreement. We really liked the satire, the musical numbers, the fish out of water stuff. But as soon as that patriarchy hits and it takes over everything and it gets overly preachy, and then there are 10, 15-minute speeches multiple times, you're like, you ruined it.
Yeah.
And then the Mattel thing, the Will Ferrell Mattel thing, fuck, man. That should have just been a means for a villain to, you know, offer conflict, and it was just kind of dropped. For the patriarchy stuff, and then right at the end there's like, oh yeah, I'm still in this film, I heard everything you said, and let's wrap this up really quick, kind of thing. And it went nowhere. Okay, so that's our opinions on it, and let's go into spoiler section. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So, the thing I was talking about with couples is Barbie does not love Ken. It is canon now that Barbie is not in love. Ken is forever friend zone. And I'm like, really? That's fucked up. Because, you know,
Ken comes in a different box.
Yeah, it's... I get it.
What?
Comes in.
Oh, you guys are filthy.
Anyway, shut up. You the one. But I see, like, that's what they wanted to do creatively. I disagree with it. I see, you know, it serves a story. But they were kind of like, oh, fuck, we gotta give Ken a Barbie love. So there's one Ken amongst the Kens that gets his Barbie, and guess what? It looks exactly like Margot Robbie. Did you see her? It was just a Margot Robbie with different hair color, and she's like, I'm here, Ken, you know, so there is a Ken and a Barbie. But it's such a fucking cop-out. It's the Ken that he gives his fur jacket to, that guy. Anyways, so yeah, Ken's whole thing is that he only exists for Barbie, and
We never find out where they live.
He lives in a trash can.
we find out where they live, Joe. They have no fucking houses.
Well, yeah.
So
where do they go?
so that's another thing. It's hilarious because I thought, okay, so I see what they're doing. They're going to say in Barbie land, women control everything. In real life, men control everything. And these two, and then they visit the world, fish out of water, and then at the end they'll do something like, okay, well, maybe everything in extremes is bad. Women should have more positions of power in real life, which is true, and maybe in Barbie land, men should have more positions of power. No. I mean, you guys don't get any houses, Can we be on the Supreme Court? No. And I get that was a joke, obviously, for, real life, even though there are women on the Supreme Court. Anyways, so I expected more of that, but no, it was like a fight to return things back to women in control of Barbie land, which, hey, I guess technically, if you look at the toys, I don't think they've ever sold a Ken house. So it makes sense that in Barbie land, the men don't run things. It's the women who have all the jobs and all the cool outfits and all that shit. Though it was hilarious when Ken comes in with his, what is it? Karate dojo, badass
Dojo, house, casa.
Dojo house. It was the best. And then they were flying off the shelves in the real world. They started selling that, and yeah, shit was awesome. I'd buy one. Anyways,
ridiculous.
He was so funny though. Okay, what else? What else?
One of the worst parts of the entire movie is Barbie finally makes it to the real world. They start to do the fish out of water stuff, which is great. It was working really well.
Yeah.
Ken discovers that men get respect and people greet you on the street.
He gets attention.
And he gets attention, and so there's some interesting stuff that happens. And then Barbie gets picked up by the
Wait, go before that. The mother and the daughter.
Yeah, so he explores. You like the Barbie mother?
Yeah.
So
that was cool.
We meet a daughter, and she's going through her tween years. She doesn't like Barbie. She's like rejecting this whole, hey, I don't look like you. I don't want anything to do with you. You represent something that we don't appreciate. Yeah, it's just like
Barbie comes into her school trying to, say everything's great, and she gets ripped apart.
Yeah, she gets ripped apart. But there's also this is when looking back, I was like, there's a kid that walks up and goes, "You don't talk to her."
What the fuck was that?
And the kid starts to get real preachy for no reason, and that should have been our first hint that this whole movie was like
about to be derailed.
Because the kid.
That was the writer.
Oh yeah, I guess the writer's insert, because it was absolutely it was useless and dumb, and she just walks around it anyway. And then so they sit down and I don't know. So that the kid is like, no, I don't like Barbies. I want nothing to do with you. But it's her what is her America Ferrera is her mom, and so it was her mom that looks at Barbie and starts playing with Barbies again. She misses the fact that her and her daughter aren't connecting, and so she looks back on it fondly. But she starts drawing dark Barbie who thinks about death,
depression, and death.
Yeah, and like all this other stuff. So that's how the rips get separated. So Barbie and Ken are walking around the real world. Ken is experiencing like men going to the gym and riding horses, and they've been president, and they're pretty much
working
in charge.
out,
and they're in charge of everything. And he's like, wow, men don't just stand around when it's nighttime.
Just wait to be acknowledged.
And so because he's kind of emotionally abused a little bit in the Barbie world, and he doesn't have anything, and so he's constantly seeking for attention, and so it's like a drug, and he just dives headfirst into it and brings that and books back to Barbie land. But Barbie gets picked up by Mattel. And then they're like going into this box. It's pretty much a prison. It's insinuating they're just gonna kill her or something. And then she just...
So they're gonna send her back to her world.
Something like that,
but
maybe.
as if that's gonna fix whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
So then she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then we have what is worse. So I thought that the Obi-Wan Kenobi Princess Leia chase scene was the worst thing that was supposed to be kind of...
This was like, what?
This was so much fucking worse because we're not in Barbie land, and I get that they don't need to be... I don't need them to be like Secret Service level things, but it was a joke, and it looked bad.
And I get it that it's candy, sugar coated, and it's over the top, but it's better and it works better if that's in the Barbie world, right? And the real world has real world, but no, the Mattel of the real world must have come from the Barbie world in order to make this make sense. Because
it's just
dumb. It was long.
It was a dumb chase scene.
And that stuff interrupts the character development the real interesting social commentary of Barbie sucks now, and one girl's like, well, I kind of like Barbie, and they're like, shh, you know, and that kind of stuff. And Barbie having an emotional moment where she can't handle it, and you know, and then having to deal with it, and immediately she doesn't have to deal with it, so we can do some slapstick hijinks with Will Ferrell doing Will Ferrell stuff.
They start screaming,
oh yeah, he even catches her at one point. Oh, I don't know what to do now, and then he just runs off.
I like
Really?
Will Ferrell back in the day.
Yeah.
And this
grated on my nerves at this point.
This is awful. Like, he should not be in this movie. I didn't like it in the trailer. I was like, he's gonna ruin this fucking movie, and he ruined this. Any scene that he's in is not good, and it doesn't do anything for the movie even. So it's like, I don't like. We went nowhere with, I'm the CEO of Mattel, and maybe I'll change the way that we do things. They don't do any of that. They don't do anything with it at all. He just hangs out.
Yep. And they try to tie it in even more annoyingly. I'm like, really, the lady who it really was, the Barbie who was playing with the girl who was playing with Barbie, is also the secretary of Mattel. It's like, come on, I know what you're trying to tie everything in, but it's like eye rolling. Anyways, so Ken changes everything, and he changes it from Barbie Land to Kendom, and it was fucking sweet, no, but obviously when he goes there, some of the Barbies were like, yeah, man, fucking being president is hard. I wanna, I wanna relax and do other stuff. At least initially, I thought that was the message. But no, they go for, they're all brainwashed now by the patriarchy. And now they're all like slaves and stuff. But they could have done something so much smarter. It's like, women in position of powers get fucking tired of having it. And so does men. Men get fucking tired of having to, constantly make all the decisions and stuff. And there was just so much potential there to bring positivity and finding who you really are and positive messages in both Barbie world and, real world. But it's still kind of left, they're both left in the same extremes that they were by the end of the film, kind of. A little bit. And so, and Alan is still fucked. He's trapped. It's like, I didn't think Alan was a real thing, but apparently Alan is a real thing.
So is the magic earring guy and the sugar daddy.
The sugar daddy Ken, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's real.
It's real.
And then you even see at the end of the film, they show the real images.
Well, it's more popular than ever today.
Oh, and then there was that one Barbie that her boobs would grow if you push her. That was real as well. And then the TV Barbie.
The pregnant Barbie.
What's her name?
No.
It was really a weird name. It was like Mitch. No, not Mitch. Yeah. Anyways, it was creepy, and they use her as a joke. They're like, "Shut up," and they move on. She doesn't get a happy ending.
There's a lot of cameos we can talk about. John Cena was a mermaid.
Yes.
I thought that cameo was bad. He was like overacting. I was like, oh.
Dua Lipa was a mermaid.
I didn't know who that was.
Maybe that's
Who was
actually
that?
it. She's the singer. She did the first when they did the dance party at her dream mansion.
Yeah.
It was her song playing, so she's very famous.
Okay.
But she was one of the mermaid Barbies.
Gotcha. Let's see. Okay, so we have some of that, and now here's where I know that you some people are raging at this part. The women come up with a plan to take the men out of power, and how do they take a damsel in distress? And they act like guys are dumb, and they always want to like help. And I'm like, how's that a bad thing? Who wants to help anyway? So they distract them. They make them play They play guitars for 4 hours, and then their big plan is to, once they have the guy, fawning over them and doing something, playing guitar at them. They say, "I'm gonna play guitar at you." They crush their hearts.
Yeah, they just
by acting like they don't
invoke jealousy between
Yes.
the Kens to break them apart.
And create a war. They create a Ken Civil War. That's what gets fun again. I like when the Kens are fighting and they have a big old fight scene, and they have they have a Ken off, and they start sprinkle their chest powers. Start sprinkling on each other. One of the other Kens you can see was really enjoying that part, and then it just warps into another dance sequence. And I liked the dance sequence and the dance fights. The fucking beach offs is what they are. We're gonna beach off.
Ruse.
Yeah.
Because they had to go vote, and they didn't.
And they forgot to vote. I'm like, how does Barbie Land work? If they don't show up to vote, their votes don't count. Oh, okay, I guess. And so they vote to put everything back the way it was. And then the Kens are like, well, can we have, I don't know, houses? Or they don't even ask for houses. They just say, can we be on the Supreme Court? And they go, no. But we'll give you like some lower level stuff. And
then he has an amazing shirt that says, I am Ken enough.
Yeah, well, hold on, we're not there because that comes about so once we deal with Ken coming out of power and then all the Kens show up and they're all doing their horses into town, like, we're gonna beat y'all up now, and they're like, what do we do, Ken? He's like, yeah, he just runs off because he sees Barbie. This has really all been about Barbie not validating his feelings for her and him not feeling like she loves him, which is fucking sad because she's like, no, I don't fucking love you.
He's like, I don't love you.
I don't love you. It's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, whatever.
She does not have a heart.
She doesn't have a heart. That's true. Okay, I like that. Maybe now that she has a heart at the end of the film, he can try again. Fuck, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, right. So yeah, he stayed in Barbie Land because she's like, you need to figure out who you are without me. And he was like, all right. And so that's how he's gonna get his self-worth. He's gonna figure out who he is. And he's, I'm Ken enough. If it was Ryan Gosling and just nonstop jokes, fine, I'll go watch it. But I don't think there needs to be a Barbie 2. It won't work, especially with how this ends. There's no after credit scene. So then Barbie is like, yeah, I don't love Ken, I don't need Ken. And it's like, well, what's Barbie's ending, people are saying. Or Ken hands down his fur coat, and there is a Ken and Barbie that are happy together. So it's like, yeah, if you came as a couple, because I saw a lot of couples, I'm Ken and I'm Barbie, I guess they'll have to be happy with that. And so then she's like, yeah, she loves Ken, and she's like, I don't love Ken. And it's like, that's not her. Yeah, because women's endings aren't just to simply love a man. It is to have something more than that. And so then there's a subplot of the creator of Barbie, Ruth something, and she's a ghost in the Mattel fucking building.
Yeah.
This is like Matrix stuff. You remember the Keymaster and the fucking Oracle? I'm like, what is going on?
Everything is magic there.
Like, what? Then why are you letting all these idiots run things? And then the CEO is like, we've had a woman CEO one time in the 90s. I'm like, well, damn, that's fairly recent. Yeah, what's wrong? Is there something wrong?
Two women something about taxes.
Yeah.
I think the real Ruth or whatever did do a lot of tax evasion. So they don't shy away from that kind of stuff. I like when they don't. And I liked some of the messages, like where the mom is like dark and weird, and she's like, yeah, good. And the movie's like, yeah, it's good. You could be dark and weird. You don't have to be fucking ashamed of being fucking a weirdo and liking that shit. And so I like that. They could have been more corporate about that stuff. But anyways, what else? So the Ruth comes and says that, hey, you come with me, and you'll see. You become a real girl now.
Do you want to make this choice or not? Do you stay in Barbie Land or
become a human? No. So Barbie becomes a human in order to do what?
Find herself.
No. In order to...
Where does she go?
Where does she go?
I know where she goes, but I'm just...
In order to visit her gynecologist.
She has vagina.
Well, it's not, I mean, they don't come out and say it. I guess that it's implied that she's going to get a vagina.
And earlier, it's like, we don't have genitals.
Right, and Ken's like, I have all the genitals. I know, I don't know, get a fake vagina. I don't fucking know. It's like, what? And then it ends. And then, okay, there's no after credit scenes or anything like that.
Honestly, I was hoping, like, for a different message, like the Barbie's like, oh, Barbie doctor is like, hey, I'm tired of being a doctor, I don't want to do this. It's like, well, you can change your role. And,
yeah.
Like, you do whatever you want.
That was the message that was sitting right there.
There could have been something better like that, but they were just...
But no, everything kind of returns the same. The real world kind of still sucks, and Barbie world fucks on the shits all over the Ken still, and yeah, okay, cool, that's how things are. But, okay, so we did comb over the fucking, the heavy-handed speeches and rants. So when does that happen?
I mean, it's
like mid scene, like once she gets to the real world.
This is where it was losing me. The writing was falling apart.
Yeah, she
here.
finds out. She tries to find her who's been playing with her, because they've been having dark thoughts, and she thinks his daughter. Shows up at school, doesn't work out, and then she sees her at Mattel.
Yeah.
And we see her making the drawings. It's like, oh, this is depressed Barbie.
So we put all that two and two together.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
She's been having dark thoughts. She's unhappy with her marriage. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Well,
her husband is learning
she's
Spanish.
thinking about like killing herself. She's thinking
They
about
never
death.
really do anything with it. Oh, she's like growing apart from her daughter, and because of that, she started to play with her Barbies more. I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
Where did that okay, and how did that resolve by the end? Maybe she was drawing dark things because of the pressure of being a woman in real life, but it didn't really.
Her together.
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, long story short, the daughter and the mother go into the Barbie world. Alex, pick it up. They go into the Barbie world.
Yeah, and then America Ferrera gives a very, very, very long speech when she sees that Barbie says, you know, I'm no longer pretty, and she's just like, listen, bitch, let me explain to you what it's like being a woman, and then goes on a really nice, but the issue is like, this is the second time or third time that we brought it up, and then we continue to get it more throughout the end of the movie. So like, I think here is when they were really heavy with it. And I think if that would have been the time where they've kind of punctuated it, it's just like, look, women tear each other down, but you need to be pretty, but not too pretty. You need to be thin, but don't tell anyone that you're trying to be skinnier, and you need to be body positive, and you need to say that and then she goes on. I mean, it's a long thing that she goes on, and then it just continues to go throughout. And I mean, honestly, this is the kind of thing that you almost want to end the movie on, and just again punctuate the movie with, and then we get to go on with the message. But there was a lot of movie.
Barbie needed her pussy. She needed to get a vagina.
Yeah.
So that's why we had to keep going with that.
Yeah.
And Ken had to get friend zoned. And figured out what he wants.
She was way too excited to. I mean.
It's just like I don't get what her deal was.
Me neither. Like I would have much rather it been, you know, the daughter and mother kind of reconnecting, and it was like the daughter. That's fine if you want to do the subversion where it's the mother, but have that connect and tie more instead of all the Mattel stuff, and tie Barbie in, give her more purpose in there to give her more of a character by the end. Yeah. And ultimately, if that's the direction you want to go with Ken, it was funny. There was a cool fight and all that stuff, and he's a hilarious, over-the-top dumbass. You know, it's not himbo. It's not saying that all men are dumb. You know, it's just that particular character.
No, that's exactly what they were saying. That's what the YouTube videos told me. All Barbie thinks all men are stupid.
Yeah,
men.
and noticed in the speech that they were like, women tear women down, and then men tear women down. No mention of women tearing men down. No, because it is a Barbie film, so it's talking to one audience. We don't need to bring that up. Anyways. So funny. I think the summary is funny, but kind of saddled down with the ranty speeches that kind of turn you off, even though you overall kind of agree with some of the ideas behind the message, and you know that. So that's let me try to think. There were a lot of cameos and stuff. Ethan, what's his name? No, Ruth. No. Alan. Alan is a badass fighter.
Oh, yes.
And they were building, what was that, a Jenga wall? What was that? So the Kens are trying to keep out, you know, real humans from crossing over into the real world. Oh, okay. So then the daughter and mother come in, and then they're followed by the Mattel executives, okay? And then after all these speeches going on, the Mattel executives say, hey, we're still in the film, and Will Ferrell comes in after everybody is talking and does what?
She says, we need an ordinary Barbie. And he's like, no, that'll never make money. The guy behind him's like, yes, it's going to make a lot of money. Yes, let's do it. An ordinary Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Do we ever see the ordinary Barbie or anything? No. What's the fucking point?
We forgot Will Ferrell was in this movie?
Falls apart at the end, I'd say. Okay. Well, that's it. You guys have anything else?
No, I covered everything.
think we did. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. What did you think of the Barbie? Do you agree? Do you think it's not heavy-handed? It was just the right amount of message for this particular film? Did you think the jokes were funny, or do you think that this is the worst film to ever happen to men, and it's going to create a lot of problems, and it's going to radicalize your children, and they will burn down America when they grow up?
Destroy the family.
And destroy.
But yeah, click those links down below. Check out Manscaped if you want to, look like Ken. You don't want to look like OJ's Ken doll because it's.
It was on clearance.
I love that. That was so funny. I love it so much.
I had to trim OJ's
again here at the end.
Pubes. It was awful.
It was amazing. All right, guys. Thank you all so much, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.
Kind of bored.
We could play with these dolls.
Yeah.
Hey Barbie, that was an amazing date. You want to go back to my place? Check out the hot tub?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Oh, sweet. Let's go.
I guess Barbie's already in her swimsuit, so I don't really have to do anything. Your doll have a swimsuit? I guess. Oh, absolutely not. No. You look awful. Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how long it takes me to get ready, especially for a date and to get into a hot tub? You look like a hot dog that was rolled down the floor of a barber shop. You look disgusting. No, absolutely not. You can't just roll out of bed, barely shower, and put on dollar store deodorant and expect to get with this. No. You gotta manscape, just like in real life. By the way, where did you even buy a doll that has pubes like that?
It was on clearance.
I can see why.
Guys, Manscaped's Perfect Package 4.0 has everything you need to make you look your best. The Lawnmower 4.0 and Weed Whacker 2.0 make taking care of unwanted hair easier than ever. Get 20% off with free shipping off your order now at manscaped.com/AngryJoe Show, plus 2 free gifts.